because you inspires.
I can't help it.
I can tell you one man who has his hashtag to be so body goals locked it down. It's the gent sitting beside me right now. The first Robben Island crossing took place back in 1909, believe it or not, and hundreds of swimmers have completed it since then. One of them is inspirational speaker and extreme open water swimmer and definitely friend of the show, Ryan Stromroth, who on Thursday became only the second person ever to swim 100 crossings between Robben Island and the mainland. An incredible feat and embodies so much because each of those swims had meaning behind it as well. And he joins us this morning to, first of all, shake my hand, dude, as a centurion. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
There have been so many of these, and each one has had a very significant kind of journey, build-up, narrative. What did this one mean to you? I know it was quite an emotional experience.
Yeah, number 100, you know, it's probably a little more pressure on my 100th than on my first, believe it or not.
Really?
Just because of all the eyes watching, and you reach a milestone. Every single Robben Island crossing is different. And every single one is difficult, and that ocean throws everything at you, even though it's become more routine to me. You've got to concentrate because that ocean throws whatever it feels like throwing at you, be it wildlife, currents, waves, temperatures. So I was wondering what it was going to do to me on my 100th.
And a lot of emotion. It's just you and the swim, and you must go into a very kind of special pace. So this one had a very special significance over and above, because you're not the first person to achieve 100 swims.
No, I'm the second person to achieve 100 swims. Theodore Yach, my good friend who passed away last year, was the first guy to ever make it.
Wow.
And I swam with him on his 100th, and he was due to swim with me on last Thursday, but obviously not around, so I dedicate the swim to him. It was a very emotional time.
Yeah, I'm sure one of the most special then that you could have achieved. What was the swim itself like? Did it throw any of those little curveballs at you when they're emoji? You're like, oh yeah, thank you.
You know it's going to, you know, especially on a 100th where you jinx yourself because you've got the champagne prepared and there are people on the boat ready to spray it on you.
Already jolly, yeah.
Everybody's watching and you know something's going to go wrong, but it was absolutely beautiful for most of the swim, and then the second half the wind came up and made it choppy. It's an entirely different swim, so threw a few things at us. A couple of jellyfish stung us as well. My friend Mark de Klerk, who was swimming with me, he did his 30th on the day, and he got nicely stung by the jellies.
And 30 is still pretty awesome.
30 is awesome, yeah.
It's still pretty awesome. I have this feeling like the only real question I want to ask you is why, dude? Because do you need to train every day? Is that the thing? Because you do train all the time. You have to, surely.
Yes, I do. So Robben Island swim, as big as it is, it's the Everest for many swimmers. But for me, because I've gone off and done some bigger and better and more difficult stuff around the world, it's become a brilliant training ground. So generally in summer, I get to the island at 6 a.m. and I swim just as the sun's coming up, and I swim to the beach. I'm on the beach by 8 a.m. I'm in the office before 9. That said, maybe makes it sound a little bit easy, but it never is. You've got to show it the respect. But it's a fantastic swim under the shadow of Table Mountain, and it's just something that conditions me, my mind, and my body really well for what I'm going to do next.
Is it the cultural significance that brings people to this, that makes it kind of that mecca? There's something very special and almost spiritual about, we know Robben Island, yes, but about this particular swim, what is it that grabs people's attention?
You know, Robben Island is so rich in history, we all know that, and I often think about that. I've had the privilege of swimming from the beach to the island and sleeping a night on the island, and doing a private tour and then swimming back, under Big Bay events, Derek Fraser's watch. And so it's always just got this unbelievable pull to me. But the challenge of a Robben Island swim is not the distance. Anyone can train themselves if you dedicate enough to get fit enough. It's handling that cold water when you're only wearing a Speedo goggles and cap. There's no wetsuit that cold gets
inside. If you can, just go and stand in that water, anywhere on the Atlantic side for 30 seconds and just see how that feels. But can you remember that first swim?
I can. 2003, I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was, again, the Everest for me, a ridiculously difficult challenge that I didn't think I was capable of doing. And I remember doing that swim and putting my feet down on the sand 2 hours and 25 minutes later in Bloberg Beach, and just, it started such an epic journey for me.
100 done and dusted. Here's to the next 100. Will you do another 100? You could.
I'm gonna keep going. It was never a goal to do 100. It's just happened. And now that I'm a centurion, and I can probably relax a little bit. But I'm not so okay.
He's going straight here to train, and then it's off to work again, right? Congratulations. Can we get another round of applause? 100 crossings from the mainland to Robben Island. An unbelievable feat. Hopefully that's inspired you today. And we'll see you in a moment.